Hi, welcome along to another video. This week we're going to carry on with the Texas theme. So we'll expand out on the whole Texas thing, including the fake snow stories that have been going around in the media, and some other bits of information just to try and tie in the whole subject, which a lot of you will know about already, some of you won't. If you really don't have a clue about Texas weather modification, I would urge you before you watch this video to watch last week's video, Texas special, and that'll get you up to date on Texas and the statewide effect of the Texas weather modification programs. So before we get into anything, it's a good point to remember, on our planet we have a lot of different weather. It's very unpredictable. It's the most unpredictable thing ever. You might know you're going to get rain, but you don't really know how much rain or how long it's going to last, etc. You might know you're going to get snow. You don't know how deep that snow is going to be. You don't know if it's going to settle, if it's going to freeze. You might have a good idea of what's going to happen, but you really do not know. It's an unstable world. But one thing you do know is in that instability of natural weather, you cannot tell if it's the correct weather or not, if there are weather modification programs being carried out. So what that means is there is absolutely no way anyone on this planet can say that's a natural snowfall. Texas has had a weather modification program for 70 years, and this is one of the biggest errors that people can make, whether they know what's going on or not. You're saying, is this part of a government weather modification program? People are suggesting that this snow in Texas, this freeze, has happened because the weather's been modified last week, the week before, the week before that. A recent thing. This is where the error comes from, as what you are seeing now, especially in the United States as well as East Asia, is the accumulative effects of weather modification and climate engineering that's been going on for over 70 years, full on going on. So not experiments, not just a little bit here and there, one place, two places on the planet. 70 years of active weather modification programs. There is no such thing as natural weather on this planet. And if you honestly believe you can modify the weather literally over an area the size of half of the United States and there be no accumulative consequences of that, then you shouldn't be watching this video, really. Go and watch some dance video or something. Okay, Texas fake snow. Get your angry emoticons ready. You want plenty of them. In the UK media, the Independant, that used to have quite a good reputation for being independent, are going in hard on the conspiracy theory. So I'm not going to get into whether it's right or wrong that you can melt snow with a lighter. We're going to stick to the hard facts about weather modification programs, etc. So from the UK media, fake snow conspiracy theory claims Texas weather government generated. TikTok users attempt to prove recent snowfall synthetic and part of a sinister state plot. So straight away we need to acknowledge then that it's only TikTok users. There are no people on Twitter, Facebook or any other social media platforms such as YouTube claiming that this is government generated snow. It's only TikTok users, just to be clear, right? According to the UK media. The author of this article is called Joe Summerlad. Now what I want to pull out of this article for you is where this weather modification so-called conspiracy theory is being lumped in with everything else. So it says, while this might be a reasonably harmless example of an absurd conspiracy theory gaining traction online, the spread of misinformation as entertainment has had worrying consequences in recent years, from people being dissuaded from taking coronavirus vaccines over fears of mind control, to believers in QAnon and its Pizzagate precursor engaging in acts of domestic terrorism, notably last month's siege of the US Capitol, itself inspired by an untruth from Donald Trump. Now remember, this is one of the UK's leading mainstream media newspapers. So, the spread of misinformation as entertainment, and they're suggesting that Pizzagate is misinformation as entertainment. Now note how they use the term Pizzagate. They don't use the term child trafficking, as Pizzagate was just a piece of the global child trafficking information that has come out. So note how they use the term Pizzagate, right? The Clinton conspiracy. That's the level that these people are operating on. Okay, that's misinformation as entertainment. So people were talking about child trafficking and spreading that as misinformation as entertainment. That's how sick these people are. They think if you talk about child trafficking, that's entertainment. Okay, pay attention to that. That's who these people are. That's how they operate. So the article about fake snow and how it's all just stupid. In this highly intelligent mainstream media newspaper, we're taking some of the comments because it's really important. Like, you've got the gist of the article. They think child trafficking is entertainment, right? So we're taking some of the comments of the people just so you get an idea of what's being said. I think the Texas snow was made by an adapted version of the one that flipped the votes in Georgia. Ha ha ha. Just when you think they can't get any balmier, they manage it. For those of you that don't know what balmier means, it kind of means crazy. Hard to believe there are really people in this country that buy into this kind of nonsense. But then again, there are also people in this country that believe QAnon is real, Trump didn't really lose, and the earth is flat. Funny how so many times it seems to be the same people being duped. And the best one, from someone called Free Thought: scientific illiteracy comes at a terrible price in the lack of critical thought and gullibility. Just ask Marjorie Taylor Greene and her stripe. Right? So let's just be clear, this commentator is saying they're called Free Thought. Scientific illiteracy comes at a terrible price in the lack of critical thought and gullibility. So just to be clear, as far as this is concerned, that these people are saying, and the article is saying, if you believe that the Texan weather has been modified or is modified, as far as these people are concerned, you are scientifically illiterate and you cannot think critically and you are gullible. Now, those of you that have watched last week's video about Texas weather modification programs will know that that's actually not true. And actually this person that thinks that they're free thinking is actually scientifically illiterate, cannot think critically, and is clearly gullible if they're believing what they believe. If you go on the link that's in the info section of this video and actually read that article, I can tell you now, you will be so angry. Scientifically speaking, if I take you back to 2017, January the 13th, Colorado, cloud seeding aims to increase mountain snowfall and power generation. Okay, keywords there: cloud seeding, which is weather modification; mountain snowfall, keyword there is snowfall, and the piece you want out of the word snowfall is snow. Obviously I'm being a little bit cheeky there. CU Boulder is participating in a cloud seeding effort launched this month to increase winter snowfall in the mountains of southwest Idaho, with hopes of ultimately increasing power generation by hydroelectric dams. The project is called Snowy, easy to find, so as you can see straight away, fake snow is not a conspiracy, unless of course the people are suggesting that CU Boulder, the University of Wyoming and the University of Illinois are conspiracy theorists spreading a conspiracy theory called Seeded and Natural Orographic Wintertime Clouds, the Idaho Experiment, Snowy. For those of you that don't know too much about the American weather modification programs, literally every video in the International Weather Wars playlist has something about America in it. Can't think of many videos that don't. Maybe the China special doesn't, and maybe the UK special doesn't, but all the general ones do. So there's a picture from 2017. Atmospheric scientists take to the skies to test cloud seeding for snow, and that's just a test. Those of you that are knowledgeable on this subject will know from the 1940s it's been an implemented program. So far we've covered a couple of areas. On a map of the United States we'll blank out Texas, because we know Texas has a weather modification program, and we mentioned Idaho, so we just take Idaho off the map. We know that Dakota has a weather modification program via Weather Modification Incorporated. So we just take Dakota off the map, north and south, poof, gone, weather modified. And we know Colorado has got an active weather modification program, so we take Colorado off the map. And California's long program, so we take California off the map. So if we add in everywhere else in the USA with state weather modification laws in force as of the end of 1975, so 45 years ago, these places had weather modification programs in effect. Connecticut, Florida, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New York, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Utah, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin and Wyoming. There are over 100 videos in the International Weather Wars playlist explaining to you in detail all about that. By 1976 there were also programs in a program in Alaska and Delaware. By 1978 there was also Michigan and Minnesota. So that's your map of America up to 1978 weather modification activities. Fast forward 45 years, and what could have happened in the meantime there, which it has, plenty of evidence to support that. There is absolutely no way America has any natural weather. It's been shown in the last video that local weather modification has a statewide effect. So do all the states having programs that cover literally most of America, do they have a national effect? Does such a heavy national program have an international effect if you take into account, for example, Canada's weather modification program, or what's happened in the past in Mexico and elsewhere across the world? So for a technology that's been upscaled over the last 50 years to be carried out globally, and here we are in the 21st century being told that there's a climate problem. And the one thing that isn't mentioned in any of these news articles, for example, is the Texas Weather Modification Program. It's all a conspiracy theory because you can't melt snow with a lighter. So keep that in mind. Again, I'll say it again, if you want real evidence, watch the videos that I've put out before. See you next time.